If you just watched the step 1 video and heard me say, on to the fun stuff, and thought, yeah, right, like this is fun, I forgive you. For many people, setting retirement contribution goals for the year and updating those numbers monthly isn't exactly fun. But the truth is, a key component of success in any realm is visualizing your future and tracking your progress. Step 2 of Retirement Planner is where you do that, and it only asks for 5 total inputs from you. 3 of those inputs you update just once a year, and 2 of those inputs you update just once a month. For the section Set Your Retirement Contribution Goals for the Year, it's asking a simple question. What are your retirement savings goals for this year? You only need to update these numbers once a year. The minimum number is the lowest amount you hope to save this year. Obviously, if you lose your job or something like that, this number might go out the window. But when you set this goal, you should think of this number as no matter what, I'm going to do my best to save at least this much this year. Your target number is your real goal. Think of this number as under normal circumstances, I should be able to save this much. Your stretch number is your best case scenario savings goal for the year. This number is particularly useful for people who have more variable income or spending, and when things are going well, can allocate more to retirement savings. Now is probably a good time to mention that you don't need to worry about whether you're using pre-tax or post-tax dollars for these savings goals. We talk about this more in our summary section video and in our Learning Center articles, but for now, just know that regardless of how your retirement savings dollars are or aren't taxed, doesn't matter for the purposes here. Finally, there's no reason you can't adjust these at any point in the year, but keep in mind that these numbers are really just for you. If you're halfway through the year and you realize there's no chance of hitting your goals, if making some adjustments helps motivate you, go for it, adjust away. But whether you under or overachieve on these goals, nobody's going to reprimand you or give you a gold star. Personally, I like to put my best guess forward at the beginning of the year and see how it all plays out. By not changing the goals, it gives me a better sense of how realistic I am at the end of the year and helps me when I'm setting goals for next year. In the Track Your Year-to-Date Numbers section, you'll be prompted to update these numbers once a month. That said, if you miss a month or two, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that at the end of the year, you have accurate numbers for that year. Just know that your achievements versus goals charts below will only be as accurate and up to date as the numbers you've input above. Now let's look at those achievements versus goals charts. Both graphs are showing you a version of the same thing. They're saying, you set these goals, and here's how you're currently doing based on them. The semicircle graph is a representation of your goals based on a savings rate. That savings rate is calculated by dividing how much you plan to save, or actually have saved, against how much you plan to earn, or actually have earned. For example, this person's target savings number for the year is $10,000. $10,000 is 10% of $100,000, which is the expected gross annual household income they entered on step 1. Now, imagine it's exactly halfway through the year. This person is right on track with both their income and their saving. They have earned $50,000, which is half of their anticipated yearly income. And they have saved $5,000, which is 10% of what they have currently earned. The bar graph chart to the right works exactly the same way, but instead of looking at the savings rate, it's just looking at the dollar amounts you hope to save and showing you how much in dollar terms you actually have saved so far. So in this example, we'll continue to imagine that we're halfway through the year and can see that this person has just hit their minimum savings goal of $5,000. But they still need to save another $5,000 in the second half of the year to hit their target goal, or another $10,000 in the second half of the year to hit their stretch goal. Now let's look at the last module on step 2, the Future Outlook table. The first thing to note is that you don't need to edit anything here. Everything this chart is telling you is based on inputs from earlier in step 2 or step 1. Secondly, at its most simple, this chart is telling you this. If you saved at a given savings number every year from now until retirement, you could retire at this age. Let's give an example. If this person, Beatrice, saved at her current target savings number of $10,000 a year, every year from now on, she would hit her lowest nest egg need number by 61. her medium nest egg need number by 63, and her highest nest egg need number by 65. We talk a bit more about what nest egg need means on the Summary tab, but at its most basic, think of your lowest nest egg need number being your most basic and no-frills retirement lifestyle, whereas your highest nest egg need number being a relatively cushier and extravagant lifestyle. Now, it's worth noting, your annual savings numbers, along with your income and expense numbers, and therefore your nest egg need numbers, are going to change over time. If you're 20 and filling this out, they're likely going to change a lot over the next many years and decades before you likely retire. If you're 70 and filling this out, those numbers probably won't change too much. But whatever the case, your eventual goal is to get your annual savings numbers to align with at least one of your nest egg need numbers by your goal retirement age. But here's the beauty of this table. Because you're updating your income, spending, and saving numbers every year, this chart will always provide you with a real-time understanding of what you may need and if you're on pace for retirement based on your life today. And for those of you who are saying, yeah, but my life's going to change, how do I account for that? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Let's move on to step 3, the summary section.